Hi everybody, this is Roxy, and I got into monoprinting with Gelli Plates. I bought a Gelli Plate, I think a year ago, a 5x7, and I never used it because I don't know why, I don't know if I just didn't get around to it, or I felt like, oh, it's intimidating, but it is the most fun I've had in a long time as far as crafting goes. She suggested doing it, and then we had to cancel a couple times, and we finally got to it, and she already has been jelly printing like crazy. So she gave me a lot of tips on like the amount of paint to use and color variations, and she took all her embossing folders and embossed them just onto white cardstock, thick white cardstock. And so I didn't use any, I think I used a couple that day. You can use stencils, you can use stamps, and I'll show you as I show these, I'll tell you what I did. But I made, the next day after she left, she offered her embossing cards to me, but I said, I'm just going to do my own because, I got a ton of them. So the next day I embossed all my folders. I think I have 80. I know, isn't that terrible? But anyways, I embossed them all and then went to town and made some more prints. So then she had a big, huge, I think it was like 11 by 17 maybe, or 14. And I have my 5x7. And then she also had a 3x5, which is really fun to work with. So I used my 5x7. She let me use the 3x5. And I kind of like that smaller size, but I think it would also be fun to make a large one or to buy a large one. They're not cheap. The 5x7 is about $18, I think it was like $13 to $18 online, but then you got to pay shipping. And the larger ones, they can get up to $100 something. So in fact, I think when I looked, a 12 by 14 is $65 and an 8 by 10 is $40. So I thought I searched, and the Frugal Crafter Lindsay has a video on making your own jelly plate, as do a few other people. So I actually watched as many as I could find, and I found some do's and don'ts, and I think I've come up with the definitive process. But actually it's because of all these other people. I'm not taking credit by any means. I like to have other people make the mistakes because otherwise it's frustrating. So anyways, that's kind of why I waited on using the GelliPrint plate too. But so I went out to Dollar Tree and got this cookie sheet, and as you can see, it's a little warped, but once you make it and weight it down, I think it'll be fine. I think your jelly plate is not gonna stay warped like that. But I didn't use this because all you need to make the jelly plate is glycerin, gelatin, and water. One gal used, I think Lindsay's, the Frugal Crafter's recipe is to use rubbing alcohol, which is isopropyl alcohol. It's about $1 at any store. But this gal that used it, she didn't like the smell at all. She said it's really stinky, and she really didn't like the smell. So I thought, I don't want a stinky jelly plate because, that would bother me because I have a lot of allergies, and I just don't like, testing my allergies. So anyways, I found another video where they didn't use the alcohol. And I think Lindsay says you can replace the alcohol with glycerin. I think she does because another guy did. He made a mistake of, and this was interesting, I think it even says it on the box. Okay. No, it doesn't. Anyways, he made a mistake of you boil the water. So here I'm going to get all over the place. Here's the recipe. It's 1.5 cups of boiling water, 1.5 cups of glycerin, 7 packets of Knox. That would be for this size. I had to have it because I found a really cool container to put mine in to make a 5.5 by 6. So Lindsay said it's 2 tablespoons of gelatin to 1 cup of liquid, regardless of what liquid we're talking about, if you're using alcohol, glycerin, boiling water, or whatever combination. I used only boiling water and glycerin, and each packet is a tablespoon, so that's why this measurement works out. Being that I had 1.5 cups of liquid, so I did, well, you do the math. What is it, 5? Yeah, 3 packets of gelatin. Okay, I'm really bad at math. Everybody knows that. So that's the recipe. And because this, okay, so then this guy was saying how you have to kind of let the gelatin poof up or whatever they call it. I don't even know what it's called. It says it on here. But they're all saying to, yeah. See, this says add hot juice, but he said when he did it, it became real gelatinous and lumpy and it was a mess. So he suggested using the colder ingredients, i.e. the glycerin or alcohol, and then pour the boiling water after. So the way I did it, he had it already done it that way, and he had a kind of a mess that he figured it out. So the way I did it was to take I used a stainless steel bowl just because. And I poured in the gelatin, the 3 packets of gelatin, and then this glycerin is from Walmart. It's the cheapest I found even online, really. I suppose there's cheaper online, but you gotta pay shipping. This is, in our area, it's in the pharmacy department near the itching cream or itching, like if you get a bug bite or whatever. It's 6 fluid ounces, which is 3/4 of a cup, which is exactly what I needed for my halved recipe. And it's $3.88. So I think the Knox gelatin was, what the heck? The Knox gelatin was a couple bucks at Walmart. They have a box of, I think, 32 packets, which is like $10 or something. But I didn't need that many, so this is what I have. I just got a little goofed out there. Okay, anyways. So what I did was I poured the gelatin in my stainless steel bowl and poured this in, which again is 3/4 of a cup. So if you're doing this recipe, you just need 2 of these for the bigger mold. And I stirred it with the rubber spatula. And it's going to be just like how you make Jell-O, which drives me crazy. When you're gently stirring and the powder stuff gets on the side and then it gets all clumpy, it drives me nuts. So this does the same thing, just so you know, and I try to scrape all that down. And I stirred it for about 10 minutes, because I was talking and, just wanting to get it nice and stirred up. It's going to look kind of filmy, or not filmy, but cloudy and kind of, like it doesn't seem like you've got everything dissolved, but if you give it 5 or 10 minutes, it's fine. Then I poured the boiling water in and stirred it for another few minutes, just because I was nervous, and poured it into my mold, not this, because I feel like this is like such an epiphany. I did this yesterday, Monday. Sunday I was at Michael's and found this Spellbinders die, which, excuse me, I've been wanting a feather dye for so long, and I haven't liked what I've seen, and this is so perfect. It's nice and big, but the best part, I was going to take apart the container that it came in, because I thought, I can use the top for a shaker card. But check this out. It's perfect for this. It's perfect. It's nice and deep, because you want a nice kind of a deeper jelly. Like this might be not as deep as, I don't know. I think it should be fine. Because quite honestly, you can flip this right out onto your mat. So here's and look at this. It covers it up perfectly. Then I can use this to put the GelliPrint on, or the Gelli Plate on, and use it as like a, if I want to flip it over on the paper or whatever. It's somewhat easier to flip the paper onto the Gelli Plate. But with the smaller one, I kind of use that. And the 5x7. Sherry Carroll uses I think she uses a 3x5 with a stamping block. So anyways, okay, so now I'm going to open this up. Or I mean, take it out. Oh, one more thing. When you pour it in here, it's going to be all bubbly and kind of frothy. And you don't want that because you want a nice glassy surface for the bottom. So I just put a little rubbing alcohol in my mini mister, and you just give it 1 or 2 sprays and it dissolves all the bubbles. And another thing I learned from this other gal, was she covered it with plexiglass or plastic wrap, because you do have to put this in your fridge overnight. I think it's 6 hours, but overnight is best. But she put plastic wrap over, so then it got real condensated up here, and then it got kind of like divots, and wherever the water condensated, there was no gelatin, you know what I mean? So it was all divoted. So another woman I saw, she, she said how you can, lost my train of thought there, I'm so excited. She said and shows she's from Germany, because I think her accent sounded German. She just cuts hers up when they get kind of wonky and icky. She cuts them up. You can boil this down, or even if it doesn't set perfectly, like that girl's that got condensated, she can go and microwave it, melt it all down, and remold it again. So this German gal, which I should put her thing down below because she is incredibly gifted. Oh my God, some of these Gelli Plate people. So she shows how you can, she has a different recipe too if you want to try that, but she shows how she cuts up all her Gelli Plates, put them in a pan, melt it all down, and then pours it through a sieve into her mold, and in the sieve will be, because they're used Gelli Plates, there'll be like chunks of acrylic paint. But this is good forever. All right, so here we go. Ooh. Watch, after all this, it won't work. Oh, I'll be so mad. So you just want to kind of loosen it up, and it's so weird. There, I don't think I have to do much. There. Ooh, I'm excited. Look at that. Oh, it's perfect. I gotta get my hand through here. There it is. And then I can put there. So there's my Gelli Plate. Nice and thick. Really cool. And then what you do, you can watch Gelli Plate printing, but you just put your paint on there. And stencils or embossing folders, and away you go. So how cool is that? Love it. That is really cool. Very cool. All right, so now I will show you the ones that I did. Oops, the ones I did. Okay. So it's super fun, and go make one. It's really cool. All right.